More than 100 inmates were living under the shadow of a death sentence just a week ago. Then Governor George Ryan granted a sweeping clemency. ABC 7's Ben Bradley talked to some of the inmates at the prison in Pontiac. He's here with their reaction. Ben?
Diana, as soon as George Ryan commuted the death sentences of the state's more than 150 death row inmates, they began enjoying new privileges. Among them, the ability to meet face-to-face with visitors. We did just that today in Pontiac, listening to their stories, in many cases, their claims of innocence, and in all cases, their hopes of one day being free. It is a place that has traditionally been void of much hope, a place where people go to die. But all that changed late last week.
I'm commuting the sentence of all death row inmates.
When George Ryan offered clemency to the state's condemned, he breathed new life and new hope into death row.
The reaction from many of the guys on death row, you're going home, you're going home. And I kept saying, well, we don't know that, we don't know that.
Convicted killer Ronald Kliner thought his name would be on the list of those pardoned. Kliner has been on death row since 1996, convicted of being the hired gunman of a childhood friend and killing that man's wife in 1988 in Palatine Township. Kliner hoped to walk out of prison with Aaron Patterson and the others who were pardoned last Friday.
I was in the cell next to Aaron when he left his cell. I had tears in my eyes. I grabbed his jumpsuit and pulled him to the bars. And I got goosebumps. I said, Aaron, don't forget me. You know that I'm innocent.
Kliner says he's convinced DNA evidence will vindicate him. He views the commutation as one more step in his long journey to freedom. He and many of the state's remaining 156 former death row inmates are already enjoying some of the perks of no longer being condemned. Look closely and you'll notice Kliner and fellow inmate Ronald Kitchen are walking without handcuffs. Over the next month, most of those housed in the state's condemned units will be transferred into general population at other maximum security prisons. They'll no longer have to spend 23 hours a day in a single small prison cell by themselves. But having a roommate and being with the masses concerns some inmates.
You got guys out there with attitudes, and you can live or die. You can die in the penitentiary just as well as you can die out there on the streets. So it's not a piece of cake in here.
Ronald Kitchen also proclaims his innocence. He was convicted of killing 2 women and their 3 children in a Southwest Side apartment in 1988. The home was set on fire after the murders.
I don't think any innocent man or woman that's in a situation like this is going to lay down and just die. You got to give them a fight.
Mr. Kitchen is among many convicts who claim they are behind bars as a direct result of torture at the hands of former Chicago Police Commander John Burge and his men. We should mention that we had hoped to speak with inmates who admit their guilt and get their reaction to having their lives saved by George Ryan. But Ron and Diane, prison officials told us that those inmates that we asked to speak with were not interested in talking with us.
All right. Thanks, Ben.